Welcome to Trip2Go. We have a very exciting special guest for you guys today, all the way from Sri Lanka, and we have some amazing questions about why you guys should add Sri Lanka to your list. We have a special guest with us today who is a local DMC all the way from Sri Lanka. We have a couple questions for her, so hopefully we can learn a little bit more about beautiful Sri Lanka. So,
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. If you want to introduce yourself a bit.
Hi, my name is Nalika Abeysuriya, and I work for Vitals Travels under John Keel's group, which is the #1 company and the biggest conglomerate in Sri Lanka. Vitals Travels has been there for 30 plus years. I have worked there almost 25 years. Thank you for having me today. Thank you for introducing me to the company, and I look forward to working with all of you close.
Thank you very much. We have a couple of really exciting questions if we want to get right into it.
Sure.
What are the must-visit places in Sri Lanka for first-time travelers?
So I would consider the highlights of Sri Lanka. That's covering the World Heritage UNESCO sites. We have 8 of them. And then you have to visit the tea plantations, which Sri Lanka is very famous for. And also we have some unique wildlife parks where you get to see the big 3. That's the leopard, sloth bear, and the magnificent elephant.
Wow.
And also you got to see whale watching, even though it's seasonal. It's a must-see because we have the highest sighting, so it's very easy to sight. The advantage of you sighting it is very high, so it's really good to see. Yeah, so those are the important must-see ones.
Perfect. What is the best season for whale watching?
So whale watching happens, we have east and south. So we are very lucky year round, because southern is like from November to March, and the east coast you can see from May to like September.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
so you can see
pretty
them.
much year round. Yeah,
Perfect. And then you just kind of depend where you want to go.
where you want to go.
Perfect.
Yes.
Very good. Can you recommend any hidden gems or any off the beaten path for, maybe a second time traveler to Sri Lanka?
Of course. So we have loads of off the beaten path hidden gems. One of them is Adams Peak. It's a mountain where you can do as a challenge or hike at a lower pace. It's also a very pilgrimage sort of a site during the season. That's from like December to May. So if you visit during that time, it's like a pilgrimage site where you can go with a lot of locals in a very low pace through the hike to the summit. And also we have loads of monasteries that will not get involved for a first-time traveler because there's a lot of in-depth knowledge that will carry those. Then if you want to do more extensive safari kind of experience, then we also have for Galloya, Vasgamua, like that off the beaten path, because they are more remote. If you want to stay bit more extensively in Sri Lanka, then those are good sites for you to visit. So we don't generally recommend for the first-time travelers and for the best highlights to us.
Right. Is it easy to combine beaches, wildlife, and culture all in one trip?
Of course. So that is what we would recommend for first-time travelers and for in general, because we want to give a little bit of everything, so that you get the right flavor of the country and the people. So we always make sure we combine culture, nature, wildlife, and of course the Sri Lankan dishes and curry lunches and all that.
Okay, perfect. I do have a couple more questions about the
Sure.
food that we'll get to later. What are some important cultural customs or etiquettes travelers should know just to be sensitive while visiting a new country?
Yeah. So we are predominantly a Buddhist country. I think I would say that's the only thing that a traveler should keep in mind. we are the ladies are very modestly dressed. Of course, we don't have covering heads or like that, but when you're visiting temples, the traveler should be very mindful of how you are dressed, both females and males. I would say that's the only thing that you should be. Everything else, and we don't generally recommend give away gifts like cash to children. Because we have lots of children on villages. There are a lot of village visits, things like that. So yeah, that's the only cautious thing. Yeah.
So the usual: be modest, be respectful, and you'll be good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good to know. Are there any unique festivals or local traditions or holidays worth timing a trip around to visit?
Yeah. So we are a very lucky country when it comes to holidays and festivals. Every month there is almost, because we are attached to Buddhism, every month there is a full moon Poya holiday that is attached to the Buddhist religion. So that's pretty much a public and a mercantile holiday, and there's a lot of festivals happening around temples. Out of the key are like the Vesak and the Poson that's currently happening. Then we also have a very significant pageant in Kandy, Asala Perahara. That's like a huge a pageant where you go with so many elephants. There are beating of like drummers and dancers. It happens from the July full moon Poya to it starts off from full moon Poya, and it's going for 10 days almost, where they go on the roads in the night pretty much, and the last day is on the daytime. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And in your experience, is there any that specifically tourists or travelers coming to Sri Lanka is their favorite festival, or one that you definitely recommend people should try to visit for?
Yeah, that definitely people should try because it has such a glamour and it speaks a lot of the cultural aspect in Sri Lanka. That's like a must-visit pageant. Yeah.
Perfect. Good to know. What are the must-try Sri Lankan dishes for first-time travelers? Like, I'm going there. What do I need to try first?
Okay. A short list for about 2. There's many, but the very famous is Sri Lankan milk rice. That's ideally for breakfast. It's rice with a lot of coconut milk. Then that's the number 1, I would say. And then Sri Lankan hoppers, where you have like a very crusty pancake. On top, you can have it plain, you can have it with an egg, or you can have it like a maple syrup or something like that to make it more sweeter.
Great, that sounds really good. Is Sri Lanka a good destination for vegetarians or vegans?
Of course, because we have loads of vegetables. It's a tropical island nation. We grow so many vegetables in the land, so there is so much to eat.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So no one will have trouble finding.
Nobody.
Perfect.
Nobody.
What are the most popular adventure or nature-based activities in Sri Lanka?
So when we talk about adventure and nature, we have it's twofold, because we have water sports adventure-based related ones, and we also have on land, hiking, trekking, and things like that.
Right.
We have loads of mountains. In all those mountains are all hikeable, and all those which I earlier said, like Adams Peak itself is a great hike. And when it comes to water-based adventure, because we are an island nation, we have marine in the coastal line, marine-based activities like the kite surfing and things like that. And we are very famous for our surfing in Arugam Bay. And also we have inland, because we have the highest density for waterfalls in Sri Lanka. So obviously you can understand, we have about, even though it's a tiny island, we have recorded 300 plus waterfalls, and unofficially they say we have almost 500 when when the rainy season is at its peak. So you can understand the landscaping. Obviously, waterfalls are all about landscapes. So we have lots of abseiling, bungee jumping, lots of other related water-based ones also for adventure.
Wow, that is really impressive.
Yeah.
Where can travelers go for safaris or wildlife spotting if they specifically want to see the animals you guys have?
Yeah. So the famous is the Yala National Park, which is in the south coast. That's having the highest density for leopards. So the chances of you seeing a leopard is very high. And now the famous trending one for leopards again, we have another one in the north-west coast called Vilpattu National Park.
Okay.
That is also famous for leopards and sloth bear, and of course the other deers and jackals and lots of other animals. And all these national parks are very high in bird watching as well. We have a lot of endemic and in-house birds as well. Then when it comes to elephants, the biggest elephant gathering happens in the Minneriya National Park, and Udawalawe National Park is also very good for elephant viewing. We also have one rainforest called Singharaja, where we have the blue magpie, which is a Sri Lankan beauty, and it's very rare. Nowhere else in the world that you can see. It's very, very unique to Sri Lanka. That's called the blue magpie, and it's the only rainforest in Sri Lanka, which is really a hotspot for birding. Yeah, so those are our wildlife.
Wow, so it sounds like there's no shortage of animals to see.
Not at all.
Perfect. Is Sri Lanka a good destination for families traveling with little kids, like young kids?
Yes, definitely. Because of the coast, obviously children love the beach, and our beaches are very safe. And also the inland country, whatever you visit, they are very child friendly. We have a lot of nature for children to embrace the nature and live in nature, and to play on, understand what the biodiversity is, and enjoy with a lot of activities. Yeah.
Wow, that's great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is a great place for families then. In terms of shopping, if you wanted to go shopping, you want to see local markets, get some local crafts or souvenirs, where's the best place to go?
So our hotspots are for local markets. Number one is Colombo, and then Kandy, Galle, Jaffna are very unique. So we have everywhere else. Also we have every town has a local market where you can get your hands on with local handicrafts that are unique to sometimes for products specific to that area as well. So yeah, it's pretty much all over, but there are 5 cities that are very famous for.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
In your experience, what have you seen travelers take home most often from Sri Lanka? Like, what kind of gifts do people gravitate towards to bring home?
Okay. I would say number one is gems, because Sri Lankan gems are very, very quality, and it's world famous. Then I would say we have a lot of wood carving, wooden-based souvenirs that the travelers are really falling in love. Also, we have a lot of handloom that there is a separate industry for Sri Lanka that they do. A lot of ladies are involved, and there's a lot of projects based on, because it's a dying industry and we don't want to let it die because it's so unique, very difficult to replicate, I would say, because of it's like coming from generation to generation and embraced. So travelers love those products to take home.
I can imagine why.
Yeah.
Wow. And then what's the best time of year to Sri Lanka? I know there's stuff you can see all year round, but where is there's a specific time?
I will say the all year is best time, but I would say the times maybe to avoid, that's between May and early June.
Okay.
Because of the monsoon rains that we have.
Right.
It can be a bit difficult to travel from A to B. And then also again from September to mid-October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to stay dry, you maybe avoid
You
those
maybe
months, but
avoid. But the good thing is you can always travel to East Coast, where that's no rain at all, because that's the season of the East Coast. So that's why Sri Lanka is so famous, because if you really want to travel, you can really travel looking at the season.
wow. So yeah, you really could go anytime.
Anytime.
Perfect. How many days would you recommend a traveler should spend in Sri Lanka for a first-time visit?
First time, I would recommend 10 days, at least 8 to 9 nights minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the best way to get around in terms of there's like tuk-tuks, there's the scooters or taxis? How do you guys recommend?
Yeah, tuk-tuks always recommend for shorter distance, especially in the city where it's very hustling and bustling and the traffic is so much.
Yeah.
But when you go from in the mountains, if you want to travel, train journeys are really unique and scenic and very nice. It's very unique because of the mountains and the sceneries.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely way to go sightseeing up in the mountains. But anywhere in elsewhere, we would recommend hiring a vehicle and then traveling through by road.
Right.
Then we also have pretty much trending on now air taxis and domestic airlines and helicopter choppers. That's also one way of traveling.
Yeah, so you really could get around no
Anywhere,
matter
yeah.
any way you prefer. Perfect.
Yeah.
What's the best way for travelers to exchange currency in Sri Lanka? So if they don't bring enough with them, how is it a good way? Is it should you do it at the airport, go to a bank with their local currency exchanges?
Yeah, so we have pretty much, it's available at the airport, and also we have island-wide, we have banks available where ATMs are freely available,
Okay, perfect.
where you can really change.
Okay.
And as any country, we also have money exchanging outlets as well, where you can, in the cities mainly, where you can go and change.
Right. So if you run out of money shopping, you can always
You
get
have no
more.
worries.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. And credit cards also accepted widely
Okay.
in the
perfect.
country, so you can pretty much do your online credit cards as well. Yeah.
Okay, so cash and card, super
Super
Okay.
easy. Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so don't have to worry about that.
No worry about that.
Good.
Yeah.
Do visitors from North America need a visa to enter Sri Lanka?
Yes. So we have visa two ways. They can apply on the ETA prior to travel, and also they can do on arrival. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Doesn't take that much long. So it's about $30, 30 to 35, and both whatever convenient way, it's available.
Okay, perfect. So they shouldn't be too worried. Just
No
have
worries
to
at all.
prepare a bit or do it on arrival.
Yes.
Good. And are there any entry requirements or health protocols that people should know about before traveling?
Well, now it's not, because during the COVID years we had, as we all had.
Yeah.
Now pretty much, unlike most of the Asian countries, Sri Lanka has a very good health system, and all the vaccinations and things are very in good condition. So there are no alerts or precautions that like the malarias and things like that. It's not there in Sri Lanka.
Wow,
Yeah.
perfect. So not too much planning. You can get up and
No.
go whenever
Yes.
you're ready. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then for someone who knows nothing about Sri Lanka and is leaving their country for the first time and may be worried about safety or traveling alone as a female traveler, do you have any recommendations for them or anything they should know?
Yes, as any destination, we have a tourist police hotline, and on the website also. So any traveler can. What we recommend also, any traveler to get in touch with tourist police, because they are very well geared to handle tourists.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That is really good to know
Yeah.
as a resource. Are there any like scams or common travel mistakes that tourists can make sometimes or need to watch out for?
I would say online transfers, when they're paying online payments, I think every country has that risk.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to be very careful with online payments when you're doing. Also, tuk-tuks also sometimes can be very tricky.
Yeah.
Not all, there are some. Yeah, so you will have to be conscious and be prepared and be very mindful.
Right.
as long as you're mindful, it's sorted.
And then how accessible is Sri Lanka? So we have some senior travelers who like traveling with us.
Of course.
Or have any mobility challenges. Is there anything that they might need to be extra careful about or need to know about?
Yeah, so what we recommend is to be very honest and declare those vulnerabilities or their age, any difficulty. If you inform pre-travel, everything is available to hotels that are wheelchair conducive or for elderly people to travel, senior citizens travel. Vehicles even, there are wheelchair accessible vehicles.
Wow.
And the medical systems in all hotels. Every hotel will have a doctor on call. So if you pre-inform your health conditions and the limitations, it's smooth sailing.
Wow, that is great. So just a little bit of planning and you'll be good to go.
You'll be good to go. Average wise, what we recommend is $700 and up are really worthy, and you can enjoy yourself very well. From US also there's no direct flight yet. Again, those similar connections. US we are very famous with our Middle Eastern connection rather than Europe and UK. Middle East is very, of course, with Qatar, Emirates and Turkish Airlines. The US it's really popular now. So we have been a colony from Portuguese, Dutch and lastly English. So you can see all those reflections in all parts of the island. I would say Dutch is very famous because of their ports available in about 2 to 3 locations. So one is Galle Fort, is very famous and it's declared as a UNESCO heritage site. Apart from that, we have Dutch forts in Colombo, Jaffna, Delft, Kalpitier, all those areas. And they're very unique Dutch forts. Then Portuguese, there's not much. English, we have a lot of, our railways predominantly built by the English. So our railways are pretty much, everything is the same. Of course, it's developed, but the railway journeys are all built by the English. And of course, the tea plantations. So if you see all plantation bungalows, all British bungalows built to their style and their nature. And some of those bungalows are now converted to boutique hotels, lovely boutique hotels and in very scenic places. Sperm whale is also very famous. So that's why the blue whale is not common for most of the destination. It's very rare sight, but in Sri Lanka we easily see that because of the waters. They say it's very conducive for blue whales. So those are the 2 common whales types.
Can you swim with them?
Yes, but we for the well-trained people.
Not just anyone.
This is the southern coastal train journey, which is running from Colombo to all the way up to Mathura. 90% of the journey you will see the sea.
Is there anything else that our travelers should know about Sri Lanka that they've never been and they want to go, or why they should put it on their list to go?
Yeah, so Sri Lanka is unbeatable, and there is nothing like to visit. All 7 continents or 5 continents in one island. So you have to check Sri Lanka. We say it's a tablet that will give you peace to your mind once you travel the country. A lot of understanding about the way of life, about the people. They are very close to the nature and culture. So it's a real way to understand where you can enjoy life back and replenish, refresh yourself up and come back. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Sri Lanka is definitely on my list now.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Don't forget to follow and stay tuned for more.